Just getting ready to start my day.
Well, absolutely, man. I tell you, I'm in the same boat. And I'll tell you, I got to bring this up because you're a St. Petersburg guy.
Yeah.
I just got back from there, and it's like my favorite place. I'm gonna have to move down there. It's
When did you come down here?
Went last week. I was at we went to like St. Pete Beach and all that. And my new favorite restaurant of all time is the Wharf down there. Have you ever
Oh, okay.
frequented
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Wharf?
Yeah. Right on. I think that's down at John's Pass.
You Pass a Grill
Oh,
or
Paso
whatever.
Grill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paso Grill. Yeah. Yeah. That's like about a 10-minute drive from my house.
So you more like north, like Tampa, or
No, so I'm
where are
in
you at?
St. Petersburg.
Oh, awesome, man! I love it. It's just it's a very clean city, charming. It's all there. I love it.
Yeah. Right on.
I don't
Cool.
think the Floridians though they're not really too keen on people from cold places like where I live just moving in and infiltrating their state. They want to keep it kind of a secret, you know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not a
uh,
bad place. Right now it's overcast. It's, I don't know, in the 50s or something.
yeah, it's crazy because I think I got there on Christmas Day and it was the coldest Christmas ever on record, right? And then 2 days later it was 75. So
Yeah. Right.
I
Yeah, sometimes it'll be raining. It'll be raining out front of my house, but across the street, there's no rain.
That's awesome. Absolutely wonderful. And it's such a pleasure to have you on. We've had Michael Wilton on this show so many times. It's great to finally have you on, and you've got so much to celebrate, really. And I know the cliche, and this will go on forever, how horrible and trying a year 2020 was, but in a way, you guys were right in the middle of kind of a massive tour as everything kind of closed down. How far along were you on the album Rejoice in the Suffering, kind of when things went south? And did you feel like that you got the time that you needed to finish that up?
I mean, we only had maybe a couple of songs. We had the title track pretty much finished, and then one or two other kind of pieces of some songs. But I would say, 90 98% of the record was all brand new stuff and started in March, when the whole shutdown thing happened. And so Craig and I just ended up focusing, um, during starting then to get this record done. I mean, we had a South American tour scheduled, I think, for August, and then we had a residency with the Scorpions, and all of that stuff was being put on hold. So I knew at that point we'd have at least a couple of months of no touring or traveling or anything. So it was a perfect opportunity to try to get this record going. It's been always talked about to get it done, and it was something that I said to Craig, okay, now's the time. Like, this is never going to happen again where we have this kind of downtime. So we need to really take advantage, buckle down. And so every single day we just worked on this record and got it done. And I think we wrote and recorded the whole thing in about a 4-month period.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's absolutely tremendous. I've got it right here. I've been listening to the promo. I am really blown away. It's heavy. It's in your face. It really, I think it accentuates, the strengths that is your voice and the collaboration with Craig Blackwell, who you mentioned.
Yep.
And your producer, Chris Zeus Harris. I think this whole thing, I mean, the production's really solid. Do you feel like, that the production that you were able to put forth, would it have been possible to have, the album comes out here in just a few weeks, February 5th, I believe. Do you think that this would have been possible without all the time that you wound up having, or would this have been, maybe down the road in 2021 later on? What was kind of the timetable you had to begin with, and was it able to be fast tracked?
I mean, there was no like hard deadline, like this has to be done by this time, but with Queensryche, we're always touring. And when I come home, it's usually for just, a few days at a time or a week, maybe 2 weeks. But usually when it's, a week or so, it's just not enough time to really get your head in that space and just focus on just that, so it would have taken longer for sure. I mean, it's all, and you can't force the creativity, right? It's just like sometimes things just happen on the fly that are really great, and then other times a song can seem to take forever to get finished. So it was definitely, I mean, having the downtime was paramount for being able to get this done. I mean, it probably would have taken longer, and we were just in the right frame of mind and focused 100%, because I knew I didn't have to jump on a plane in 4 days or something like that. So you're really able to just every single day work on that, and I was very confident we could get this done, and we did. So
Well, I want to bring up the video for Vanguards of the Dawn Wall.
yeah,
Really awesome video, great song. It
thanks.
just came out about a week ago. So how important do you think the videos are? Because this thing's got like 26,000 views. The way that people consume music, there's so many different outlets and so many different ways. How important is a video like this to get out there to the world for people to see, to put a visual with
Yeah,
this? And then kind of going forward, do you have any plans for other videos for the album as well?
I think it's important. I mean, we put the first song out, Darkened Majesty, and that was just a static video where people could hear it, just hear the song. And I don't know, that's at like 40, 41, almost 42 or whatever thousand views in like a month. The Vanguards one is just shy of 30,000 now in a week. So I mean, I think people really do enjoy the visuals, and this is also a real introduction of Craig to the world. So they get to see this guy and him playing, to the with the song, um, and we do have other videos. We have two more videos already done and ready, for the album. They're really good videos. I'm really excited for people to see these other videos. Um, so yeah, we've got more music videos to follow that are already finished and done and ready to launch at the right time. Um, but yeah, it's I like to watch videos, and I like to have the visuals as well. It can enhance the music and make the story of the video better, or kind of explain get the whole vibe and the feeling and the attitude of what that song's supposed to be better with the visuals.
So this is kind of a loaded question, kind of a tough one to answer maybe, but in a perfect world, we flip the calendar. It's 2021 now. We're all hoping for much better going forward, and especially when it comes to live events, for concerts. I mean, you got the album coming out February 5th. Have you kind of toyed around with the idea at all of doing some live solo performances, or are you kind of trying to get with the Queensryche camp and gear up for some shows there? What's kind of going on maybe in a perfect world for you guys live wise, either
Um,
solo or with Queensryche?
well, in a perfect world, um, you know, I would have been working the last 10, 12 months, whatever. But yeah,
Right.
it's I mean, obviously we're hoping that everyone takes the vaccine and we can get herd immunity going, and things can safely open up. And obviously when touring is safe and good to do, Queensryche will be on the road. If there's some downtime and pockets of time where I could perform my own shows doing this material on my own, I would love to do that. I would love to be able to play some shows and get this material, out there live. Um, yeah, so I mean, I've already had some interest from some people over in Europe to play some festivals for my own stuff, but obviously Queensryche is always going to take precedence and priority. So it just have to be a matter of, if the band doesn't have anything booked and there's a couple weeks off or something, where I can maybe open up for some bands that I like that are out on tour or whatever. It's going to be a weird time because there's so many like all these bands that haven't really toured, and then there's also you have venues that have closed. So
Yeah.
it's like, I think it's going to be just this bottleneck thing happening when shows do start to kind of resume. It's like everyone's all these shows that were booked before, they keep kicking the can down the road and rebooking in, hoping that by then it'll be able to happen. So yeah, in a perfect world, I could play some really awesome shows. I'd love to open or do something with Testament, or Overkill, or if Metal Church is playing or something like that. I'd like to get in front of more of a thrash kind of an audience and show this side of what I can do um, live at some point. I mean, I really am hopeful that I'll be able to do something at some point live with the solo stuff.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely tremendous. And when it comes to Queensryche, we're talking about now. It's unbelievable. This is a 9-year journey. Now you joined back in 2012. 9 years later, just kind of talk about the emotions as you look past at the 9 years that have gone by, everything that you guys have done. What's it been like for you? I mean, the easy answer is probably, wow, it's amazing, playing with Queensryche, but you had a following as it was. You had a band and had a lot of success leading into that. What's the last 9 years been like for you personally, playing with Queensryche, playing with the guys, Michael and Eddie and the guys? What's it been like for you personally?
I mean, obviously it was life changing. You
Mhm.
know, I had an upholstery business, and that was my trade that I did for 20, at that point, like 22 years or something. Um, so, when I got into the band, it was like, oh, we're playing a show this weekend. Oh, we're playing a show next weekend. And I would have to say to myself, like, okay, this is something where I might not, I might have to stop doing my career, and this is just like a full-time thing where I'm not home. And I was never in a full-time touring band before. So that was a whole change in my life, and being gone 8, 9 months out of the year sometimes, where you don't see your family and your friends, and it's a very different kind of a life. um it obviously, it's amazing. I I'm in a band that was one of my favorite bands growing up. um we're like family, they're my good friends. We've shared amazing experiences together. I've got to do things that most people dream of doing. I don't take it for granted at all. So I'm extremely thankful, and also thankful for the people that have embraced me, because that's not an easy thing when a band that you like changes a member like that. But I it's been an awesome overall. It's been an awesome experience. It is an awesome experience, and you know I wouldn't take it back. You know, but it's definitely a different life. I During the pandemic, I love being home. Like, on the one hand, I don't miss touring at all, because
Hmm.
I get to see my wife every day. I get to see my mom during the week, and my sister, and some of my really close friends, and be home in my own house, and I love that. On the other hand, I really miss the camaraderie, and the whole experience that goes on, where you're all together with the band, and playing shows and that sort of thing. In fact, Michael's here at my house right now. He's in my studio right now, and Zeus is here. um,
Awesome.
he's making coffee, so uh, he can hear parts of this. But yeah, we're working on new Queensrÿche stuff, and thought it would be a good idea to come down to Florida for a week or so. So we're just songwriting that way, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it at all. But it has its pros and cons, like anything else in life. If you're a person in a business that travels, some kind of a whatever your line of work is that requires travel, you might enjoy it because you get to go around and see different places. But there's a sacrifice too. We miss birthdays, we miss certain holidays with our family, and it can be lonely.
Absolutely the case. And for Michael, he misses baseball season. We've been trying to get him to Kansas City to a Royals game for years. So if he's there, tell him that Clint's still waiting to take him to that Royals game, and
Okay.
maybe we can make that happen this year. I got to ask you about The Verdict, because for many, this is sort of the signature Queensryche album since you've joined. Of course, you had Condition Human, you'd had Queensryche, but this one, I think for many, critically and fan acclaimed as it was, it's unbelievable. It's been 2 years in March that this came out. Does that kind of crazy looking back? I mean, and do you kind of consider The Verdict kind of your signature moment as a part of Queensryche?
Um, I don't know that I consider it my signature moment. I just consider it's just another ingredient in the soup. It's like the first record I did with the band was like, wow, I actually made an album with Queensryche. I can't believe this happened. And then it was like, okay, I don't want to be a one album guy. And then we did Condition Human, and that's where Zeus was brought into the fold. And then that record, the dynamics of that record sounded so much better than the 2013 album. Sonically, the whole thing, it was you could tell that we were evolving and gelling as a unit. And then when The Verdict came out, I got to drum on the record. So that was like, well, people finally get to hear some of my drumming. And we honed those songs again. And you're always trying to at least match or exceed. You always want to do better the next time. And in fact, when Zeus came here, when I picked him up from the airport, it was like, here we go again. Like, we joke about, we kind of have because it's this whole experience. It's a thing. It's not something you just crank out really quickly. It's Queensryche it's a process. And The Verdict it has gotten amazing reviews and people really love it. And I love that. But I'm, as much as I love the record, I'm already thinking, I've embraced that for what it is. I cherish it, but I'm already on to like doing something, the next one to
Yeah,
see what we can create. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I want to make sure that before we let you go, that everybody kind of knows where they can go pre-order the album now.
Yep.
And if I've got this right, at Rat Pack, this is hard to say, ratpackrecordsamerica.com/Todd La Torre, you can pre-order the album. And I mean, I didn't realize this until literally just now. You've got like a CD, a vinyl, and a kind of a package going on here. This is not just going to be digital. You've got the physical stuff as well. I think people are going to love to get their hands on that.
Yeah.
What
So
can people expect when they pre-order it?
We have vinyl. It's a double vinyl. In fact, I've got one right here in front of me. You can take a peek at. This is here's one of the shrink wrapped vinyls.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Yep. And so we've got that. We've got CDs. We've got cassettes. We even have tapes, if you can believe that. There's a market for people that love cassettes. So we actually have cassettes that are being made. We have some really cool different packages and bundles. And then starting album release day, if you go to my website, which is toddlatorre.com, the pre-order link is there. That'll take you to Rat Pack. But then I'll be having merchandise available. So t-shirts and probably some masks and some other really cool things. We'll have some other unique bundles that'll be available also that I'm putting together. So yeah, it's a whole, it's the real deal. So we've got really great music videos. We've got all kinds of cool products available, and then I'll have merchandise here in the next few weeks. And yeah, hopefully I'll see some people wearing the album shirt and sharing the music around and hoping that people like it.
Well, it's a great image. It's a great logo for a shirt, no doubt, man. Real quick before we let you go, we got to hit you with our final 4 drum roll, 4 quick questions. You give us whatever comes to mind, and we'll send you on out of here, my man. Okay. First question: what was the last show that you attended as a fan, kind of before things went crazy?
Oh my God. Um,
See, that's how long it's been right there. See, you
I
could
think
tell.
Dark Funeral.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mine was Aerosmith in Vegas back in February. So I have that to hold on to right now. Right now is my last concert memory. What show or shows, if you had time, you're working on an album and all, Netflix or otherwise, that you were able to binge watch kind of during the pandemic?
So I have 20 minutes left of the last episode, season 5 of a show called Peaky Blinders.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, great show.
I love that. And then I watched The Queen's Gambit, which I really loved also. So those are two shows that I really dig.
Very cool. What is the first album that you remember buying with your own money or that you stole? Either or.
Now, do you mean vinyl or cassette or anything?
Anything.
I think it was a Jimi Hendrix. No, it might have been High Voltage. It was a cassette, a High Voltage AC/DC.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What is the most difficult Queensryche song to sing live? Is there one that stands out? One that maybe I don't know. Is there one that's more difficult?
Stuff from the Empire album is much more challenging for me than the older, more metal style stuff. A song that always is tough for me to sing, believe it or not, is "I Don't Believe in Love."
I wouldn't have
Every
picked
time I
that
see
one.
that on the set list, I'm like, oh shit.
What about the beginning of Queen of the Reich? That to me is one of the hardest things to pull off in any metal song ever.
It depends, sometimes I feel good, I can yawn that shit out. And then there's other times where it's like, oh, I hope I can pull this one off tonight. It just depends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, it's been such a pleasure, man. And I got to say, I'm just now realizing this. So I'm a high school teacher. I ducked off into a classroom that I thought was empty. And what is behind me is apparently a reproductive chart. And I'm just kind of realizing that. And that's going to be the lasting image. The image, it may be distracting for people watching it as they look back and they see the reproductive chart. I guess I'm in an abandoned science classroom somewhere or something.
I could say you're surrounded, you're in school and surrounded by a bunch of joints. Elbow joint, wrist joint.
School has changed a little bit over the years, man. We got half of our kids are virtual, so it's probably changed a little bit, man. This is great stuff. But hey, thank you so much for doing it with us today, Todd. It's been a true pleasure. Best of luck with the album. We'll definitely be getting it out there to the masses and hoping for health and happiness, and to see you guys out there here in the stratosphere in 2021, my man.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Be safe, and hopefully when we get back on the road, you come out to a show and we'll get a little hang time.
Oh, absolutely. I was supposed to be in Vegas for the Scorpions shows, and still pissed about that one, but we'll see you guys out there. Thanks so much, man.
All right. Have a good day. Thanks.
You bet, Todd. Thanks.